Okay, so our next topic is graphing linear inequalities. So we talked about when we're solving inequalities, that's when we have the special symbols instead of just an equal sign. We have less than, greater than, or less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. So now we're going to use these symbols when we go to actually draw a graph. So how is that different from normal graphing? Well, normal graphing, you just have a line on a graph and that's it. And for when there's symbols, you have a line on the graph, but you're also shading part of the graph because the answers are more than just on the line. It could be in a specific part of the graph or where the answers could be. So the first thing is we're plotting the points on the line, same as we always do. So using our y equals mx plus b, we're still using this. Oh, B, that's the y-intercept. That's where we start the graph. On the y-axis, and M is our slope. So we're going to count to get to the next point. So on this particular graph, what is my y-intercept? It's -1. So that's where I start. That's my first dot is on the y-intercept at -1. So right there, boom. Okay, great. What is my slope? My slope is 2. So I need to make that a fraction. What number do I put on the bottom to make it a fraction? A 1. Let me label this is. We'll put M. So I put the little reminder over here. How do we know which way we're supposed to move? Well, on the number on top, is this a positive or negative number? That's positive 2. So that means I should be moving up 2. On the bottom is a positive 1. Should I move to the right or left? Positive means move to the right. Okay. So then from our y-intercept, I'm going to move up 2. So 1, 2, and then 1 to the right. And I put a dot. And then I keep going. I do the pattern over and over again until I cannot do it anymore. 1, 2, 1, put a dot. 1, 2, 1, put a dot. Oh, I can't go that way anymore. I'm out of space. So how do I go the other way? We're remembering, oh, you got to do the opposite of both of these ways. So that means we got to go, instead of up, we're going down. Instead of right, we're going left. Writing is hard. Here we go. So 2 down from here, left. 2 down, left. Oh, I'm out of space. Okay, great. So I am not going to connect it yet, because depending on what our symbol is going to tell me what kind of line I should draw. So if it has the extra line under the symbol, then that means I'm drawing a solid, normal line. If it does not have the extra line under our symbol, then I need to draw a dashed line, a dotted line. So like this, it has little gaps in it. Okay? So when I look at my symbol, I know I kind of wrote over it. Let me erase that. Okay. So when I look at my symbol right here, let's circle it. Here it is. Boom. When I look at that, does that mean I'm going to do a solid or dashed line? Well, mine does not have an extra line, so that means I'm going to do dashed. Dashed. Now on GoFormative, there is an option to draw your line dashed instead of solid. So when you select, I mean on here this isn't GoFormative obviously, but here's my little dotted line. So you're looking for that kind of thing when you draw your line. So I'm going to connect up my points with a nice little dotted line. How lovely. Okay. So I did, it's a dashed line. Check. Did that. Now I have to figure out, I got to do my shading. I got to figure out, am I going to shade up or shade down? So when I'm shading up, that means if this is my line, that I'm going to shade above the line up here. Okay. If I'm shading down, then that means, oh, underneath the line, that's where I shade. So in my symbol, it depends which way the little mouth is opening. Is the little mouth opening to the y, or is it opening to the other side of the equation or the inequality? So when I look at my symbol, the little mouth is opening to the y, so that means it's like this, shading up. So I'm going to write that, shade up. So how do I figure out, well, which is up and which is down? So I usually just go to the y-intercept, and then draw a line straight up. It did not draw. Draw a line straight up and put an arrow. That means this is the side of the line that you should be shading. Now, I like to shade in the highlighter, okay? So you don't have to color it in completely. That is an acceptable shade. I know that that means you're shading on that side of the line, okay? So this is what a complete graph looks like. I have the correct kind of line. Should it be solid or dashed? And I have shaded either up or down based on which way the little mouth is opening. Okay, we're going to do one more example together. So here we go. The next one, here's my equation over here. First step, I gotta put the dots, okay? So I need to know my y-intercept. If I look at this inequality, what's the y-intercept? Is this number right here? That's my y-intercept. Whoop, that didn't work. There we go. On positive 2. So my first dot should be on the y on positive 2. Put a dot. Next, I'm looking at my slope. My slope in this one is -1/3. We know when the negative is just hanging in the front, we're going to put it with the top number only, not also with the bottom. Only the top. So if the top is -1, oh, it's a negative number, so that means down 1. And the bottom is +3. Look on the bottom. It's a positive number. Means move to the right. Okay, so I'm going down 1, right 3, put a dot. And I do it again. Down 1, right 3, put a dot. To go the other way, we know we're going to do opposite of both of these directions. So I'm going to go up and left. So from the line up 1, left 3, put a dot. Up 1, left 3, put a dot. So there's my dots. Okay, now I need to figure out, well, what kind of line should I draw? Okay, so I'm looking at my symbol. My symbol has the extra line underneath. So I'm going to look back at these notes. When it has the extra line, it says draw a solid line. Extra line means solid. So I'm going to write, I should be doing solid. And when I select my little line tool, I'm going to select a solid line. And I'm going to do it with arrows because I'm fancy. Here we go. With arrows connecting the dots. Lovely. Solid line. Okay. And then I have to figure out my shading. So if I look at this, I see that the little mouth, this is the mouth over here, is opening to the other side, not to the Y. So I'm looking which one down here has the little mouth opening to not Y, is right here where it says shade down. So I'll write that down. Shade down. Okay. So when I'm going to go to my y-intercept, and it said shade down, so I'm going to go straight down and put an arrow. So I should be shading this part of the graph. So I'm coloring. Great. And that is a correct graph. Okay. So these are the important things, the new things. Did you pick the right kind of line, solid or dashed? And did you shade up or down? That is the only new part of what we are doing today. So if you need to, rewatch the video. Otherwise, go ahead and start the practice.